In Minecraft, there are 3 types of builds: structures, terrain, and organics. And so far in this world, we've definitely covered structures, and we've built quite a few terrain features. But I'm still yet to create an organic build, mainly because they're arguably the hardest thing to build in this entire game. And I've been mentally preparing myself for a while now, and I think I'm ready. Since the world I've been building up has a medieval theme to it, it would only make sense to finish off the trope with a dragon, perched on the top of a mountain, breathing fire down onto the city, which I think would look quite nice. So I booted up a brand new creative world and set out to build the greatest dragon in all of Minecraft. Okay, so it's not great. In fact, the first one I made is probably better than this, but ignoring that, I started practicing more, putting in a ridiculous number of hours into building, looking at tutorials, different build styles, various methodologies for building, texturing, how to use colour effectively, gradients, joining Discord servers of the greatest builders of all time, and soon after that, I thought I was ready. So I booted up that same creative world and started building again. Alright, I am so happy with how that turned out. I think that looks so cool. There are still a couple of finishing touches we could do with adding, but apart from that, I think it's nearly ready. And I think we can all agree that this build here is a lot better than the first one we made. Well, once I was happy with it, I loaded up the Superflat world and slotted the design right into place. And using Timelapse, we can see every block that we need, and there's quite a few. Conveniently, we've already got a bunch of these materials. From past projects, we've got a backlog of sandstone, grey concrete, grey wool, black concrete and black wool, and just enough birch logs, which instantly ticks off half of our shopping list. The next few things we need to get done are all the stuff in the nether, and there's actually quite a few things we need. So I picked up my pickaxe, crafted an axe, and headed through the portal. From the nether, we needed 1,200 bits of netherrack, 360 nether bricks, 230 crimson hyphae, 120 blocks of quartz, and a few pieces of shroomlights. Next was all the stuff in the overworld. The first thing I got was a bunch of oak wood, which we needed 800 blocks of. After that, I built a mini platform to farm mushrooms at and got to work. I then spent about an hour building this farm and farming a bunch of mud, which we're gonna need it to craft with wheat, and eventually turn it into packed mud. I also used the rest to make terracotta, mixed it in with a couple of bits of red dye, and eventually we were ready to start building. But before we do that, I had to destroy this part of the mountain. Then we were ready to start building. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. But the next thing to work on is to make it look as if this dragon is actually on some rocks. At the moment, his legs are kind of like in the air, and his feet are kind of like hanging off, and it doesn't really make too much sense. So we might as well just get started. So this last one will be quite difficult to do because it's in a bit of a weird position, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make it look as if he's on the mountain because of where it is. So my plan is just to kind of cover it up and hope no one notices. But as long as no one finds out, we should be fine. So don't tell anyone. Okay, that should do. I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, so the next bit to work on is probably going to be the tail. At the moment, it kind of just ends abruptly. So the idea that I have right now is for it to kind of like curve around the mountain, having it curve all the way around the mountain and then kind of like end about here-ish. I think that would look quite good. And we've still got quite a lot of resources left over, so let's use all of this up and finish off the tail. So I did just that, and after spending about 10 minutes fixing up the tail, it was done. The next thing I wanted to work on was building up the first dragon we made. I think it looks quite funny, and I think I've just got to add it into the world. So I saved it as a schematic again, and slotted the build just below the dragon, and got to work building it up. And after a few minutes, it was finished. The final thing I wanted to add was some fire, and I figured the best way to do this would be by using red, orange, and yellow stained glass. So I picked up a bunch of sand that we got from the last episode and spent a very fun 15 minutes waiting for it all to finish cooking. Crafted it into stained glass and paint, and we were ready to start building up the fire breath. And I am so happy with how it turned out.
How's it going? Real life Peter Griffin here telling you to subscribe to Dim Dam Dum.